Chang'an trembled with the echoes of battle. Inside the imperial palace, the once feared warlord Dong Zhuo reclined in his chair, unaware of the treachery unfolding around him. His once loyal adopted son, Lu Bu, entered the hall, spear in hand, his face unreadable. "Lu Bu, father, there is trouble. Dong Zhuo, what trouble can there be when I hold the emperor in my hands?" But before he could react, Lu Bu's spear pierced his throat. Blood pooled across the floor, and the reign of the tyrant ended. Yet instead of peace, Dong Zhuo's death unleashed an era of even greater chaos. With Dong Zhuo gone, Lu Bu and Wang Yun assumed control of Chang'an, believing they had liberated the empire. But they underestimated the wrath of Dong Zhuo's former generals, Li Jue, Guo Si, Zhang Ji, and Fan Chou. These men, once loyal to the tyrant, now sought revenge. Raising an army of desperate and vengeful soldiers, they marched on Chang'an. Lu Bu, despite his legendary strength, was outnumbered and forced to flee. Chang'an fell into chaos as Li Jue and Guo Si seized the city. Wang Yun was executed, and the young Emperor Xian, still a puppet, was once again in the hands of ruthless warlords. For 3 years the imperial court was a nightmare. The warlords now in charge turned against each other, plunging the empire deeper into darkness. The once mighty Han dynasty was no longer an empire but a prize for warlords to fight over. Meanwhile, Lu Bu wandered the land, looking for allies, but after betraying 2 of his former lords he was known as a man without loyalty. No one trusted him. While warlords battled in the west, a brilliant strategist and general, Cao Cao, had been quietly building something greater. Unlike other warlords who sought power through brute strength, Cao Cao sought control through order and intelligence. In 1966 AD, Cao Cao made a daring move. Seeing the chaos in Chang'an, he offered Emperor Xian protection. The young emperor, desperate to escape his captors, accepted. Cao Cao escorted him east and established the imperial court in Xuchang. Many warlords mocked Cao Cao. They saw Emperor Xian as nothing but a weak figurehead, but Cao Cao understood the power of legitimacy. By controlling the emperor, he forced others to recognize him as the rightful ruler of the empire. Those who opposed him could now be labeled as traitors. With this single move, Cao Cao became the most powerful warlord in China. But there were still threats to his dominance. One of those threats was Lu Bu. After fleeing Chang'an, Lu Bu had wandered across the land, taking and losing cities, betraying every ally he ever had. He finally settled in Xiapi, ruling the region with his unmatched skill in battle. But Cao Cao knew that as long as Lu Bu roamed free, there would be no stability. In 198 AD, Cao Cao laid siege to Xiapi. Lu Bu, confident in his strength, fought fiercely. But Cao Cao was a master of patience. He diverted the river, flooding the city, starving Lu Bu's forces. Seeing no hope, Lu Bu's own men betrayed him, tying him up and delivering him to Cao Cao. Even in chains, Lu Bu remained defiant. "Let me serve you. Together, we could conquer the world," said Lu Bu. "You betrayed every master you've ever had. Why should I trust you now?" Cao Cao replied. With a single order, Lu Bu was strangled to death. His death marked the end of the greatest warrior of the era, but also signified Cao Cao's total control over northern China. By 208 AD, Cao Cao ruled nearly all of northern China. The emperor was under his control, the rival warlords of the north had been crushed, and now he set his sights on the south. He sent a message to Sun Quan, the young ruler of Jiangdong Cao Cao: surrender or be destroyed. Sun Quan knew he could not face Cao Cao alone. He turned to Liu Bei, a struggling warlord with dreams of restoring the Han dynasty. Liu Bei in turn had a brilliant strategist, Zhuge Liang. Together they formed an alliance and prepared to face Cao Cao's massive army at the Battle of Red Cliffs. Cao Cao, confident in his superiority, and with the influence of Pang Tong, chained his ships together, believing it would stabilize them against the river's currents. But that decision would cost him everything. On the night of battle, Sun Quan's fleet launched a devastating fire attack. The flames, carried by the wind, engulfed Cao Cao's navy. His men screamed as the inferno spread, turning the river into a sea of fire. Cao Cao, witnessing his first true defeat, was forced to retreat in humiliation. His dreams of unifying China died in the flames of Red Cliffs. Though Cao Cao survived Red Cliffs, he never again had the chance to unify China. The battle secured the independence of Sun Quan and Liu Bei, ensuring that the empire would remain divided. In 220 AD, Cao Cao died, leaving his empire to his son, Cao Pi. Cao Pi, unlike his father, had no patience for the illusion of Han rule. He forced Emperor Xian to abdicate, officially ending the Han dynasty. From the ashes of war, 3 new kingdoms arose: Wei, Cao Cao's legacy in the north; Wu, Sun Quan's empire in the south; Shu, Liu Bei's last hope for the Han, in the west. The 3 kingdoms era had begun. For decades to come, the 3 rulers, Cao Pi, Sun Quan and Liu Bei, would fight bitterly for control. Their wars would become legendary, their rivalries eternal. And though none of them would ever fully reunite China, their battles would shape the fate of the nation for centuries to come. Dong Zhuo's death had not brought peace. It had unleashed an era of endless war and the beginning of the war between the 3 kingdoms. Their battle, ambition and perspectives gonna shape China for centuries to come.